What is something unrealistic that you often see in movies that annoys the hell out of you? Sometimes in sex scenes, the guy will just undo his belt and immediately stick his piece right in. No foreplay, no lube, just immediately right in within seconds. My wife and I call it Mad Men style 6, because almost every sex scene in Mad Men was like this. I know it does happen, but Hollywood thinks all sex is immediately penetrative, and the woman is coming immediately. Probably because no Hollywood producer has ever made a woman climax before. Unrealistic Wealth. Typical family with one working parent has a 4-bedroom house with in-ground pool. College graduates living in some swanky penthouse on a babysitter salary. 24-year-old doctors. Overall lack of communication. I feel like 90% of all drama is coming from this in some way. Character could have prevented the whole situation if they explained one thing, but nope. Not locking the damn car once they got out and start walking away. Playing video games, randomly mashing all buttons at the same time, and pressing R1/L1 and R2/L2 for no reason. When the mum prepares a feast for breakfast and everyone only takes a bite or two before rushing off. My mum would have killed me for wasting food. Also, she wouldn't prepare a feast for breakfast. Milk and dodge in fancy jugs, rather than the carton. The disregard for basic physics. The Fast and the Furious has entered the chat. High school scenes, where there are lounges in the hallway and students are free to be wherever they want to be around the building or buildings, no matter the time of day without consequence. We had literally 4 minutes between classes to get into our lockers and across the building. Nobody was sitting down in during that. Omniscient bad guys. I know you have to have the plot move forward, but dude is trying to hide in Europe and somehow the villain is always where the hero wants to go before they get there. I mean, Europe is pretty damn big, and I can't imagine getting totally lost there would be all that difficult. And then they suddenly stop being omniscient at the end of the movie, letting the protagonist save the day. People living in these gigantic New York or LA apartments while working jobs that realistically could never pay for such a nice place. When the entire plot rests on a character not explaining something that can be explained in under 1 minute. Characters making the dumbest, most unrealistic choices just to further the plot. Unnecessary sex scenes that add nothing whatsoever to the movie. Ordering at a restaurant and only taking one bite and leaving. In a post-apocalyptic world, somehow all cars on the road are parked or stranded in such a way that our main character has no problem driving between them. Witness protection somehow always fails in movies. Nobody opens the door 2 seconds after the doorbell rings. Nobody. People doing CPR. Then the person who just got CPR wakes up like 10 minutes later and eats lunch. Also, movies are really bad at maintaining sterile fields in operating rooms. Calling someone and then instantly start talking. I don't know why exactly, but that has really bothered me. You didn't even let it ring. Also, when they don't say bye when they hang up. My mom never identifies herself, never makes sure she has the right person on the other end, just starts talking. Gun silencers being that quiet. In reality, they're like the sound of someone clapping, for that matter just about any gun being fired inside. The noise is deafening. Even in the movies you see people wearing hearing protection at a range, but then when action scenes occur, that aspect is completely thrown out. Action heroes apparently aren't scared of tinnitus. The old "you cough, you die." My wife and I call that the scene warning ever since we saw A Walk to Remember many years ago. If you aren't the sole lead and openly acknowledge your illness, the clock is ticking. If you cough blood and weren't in a fight, same. To be fair, coughing blood is always bad sign. Someone shooting 10,683 rounds from a 1911 without reloading the semi-auto muskets from Pirates of the Caribbean take the cake for that though. Casually strolling away from a massive explosion. They have eardrums of steel and shrapnel-proof skin. It's legit. I googled it. People shooting guns, especially pistols, from well over a reasonable range, and hitting very small targets with one hand while running or something. People would be surprised how difficult it is to hit a target with a pistol from 15 to 20 yards standing still with two hands. Opaque beverage cups, and are always empty, and never look right when hefted and drank from. They could at least put water in them to get the motion right, but never do. And once you start noticing this, it just ruins so many shots for you, because it looks so stupid. This is my biggest pet peeve. Exactly. Put some water in the cup. How bad the villains always are at shooting. Don't get me wrong, Star Wars won't be the same if Luke gets scalped by a stormtrooper 30 minutes into the first movie, but good god are they bad. Stormtroopers are overly emotional. They miss everyone. No body hair. Ever. This. And full makeup and hair always. Apocalypse? Makeup and hair still done. Waking up after a full night of sleep? Makeup and hair still done. Finishing up a workout? Makeup and hair still done. Mostly in romcoms. People randomly running into each other out in public. Like, how small is your town that you bumped into the same person 3 days in a row at a restaurant/bar/shop? Yet all romcoms take place in New York City. What are the most annoying things about the shows that you've watched? Leave a comment below. Remember to like and subscribe. Toodles.